Today we have Byul and Duckdeok. Right now, Byul, I mean, I felt like he did everything he possibly could have except the engagement, right? And is this just a case of nerves in this case?
Well, it could be that. I think he might just have been caught out of position there. He didn't have the scouting with his lings, as he should have when that one push came in. And besides that, everything was going his way. He got lings in multiple times. He did damage. He did the counterattack, which forced the Stalker warp in. And then he forced that recall on that one engagement too.
Yeah,
and he was in the perfect position there for a little bit.
It's important you note that a lot of the battles go into preparing for them rather than the actual execution. But we'll find out now how Byul will kind of rally back in this series. Let's get into game number 2, ladies and gentlemen, on Athlon Waste. All right. Spawning in the top left-hand position. The incredible miracle, it is Byul! And his opponent, quack, quack, ladies and gentlemen. The MVP superstar. It is Duckdeok! Athlon Waste definitely features a much different map than what we saw on Belshir Vestige, but you can talk a little bit about this. I mean, do you favor the Gateway Expand on this map, or do you favor Forge Fast Expansion?
I'm not actually sure which one I favor. I think a lot of it comes down to what the player is more comfortable with and what kind of build they want to go for in this game. And this map, you can do either, and I feel like you can just do either in any map, actually.
Sure. It's kind of crazy. I mean, normally, styles don't change that much, right, in a short amount of time. But Duckdeok already showing that he's changing it up a lot, and I love that. I mean, you always have to think not only what your opponents are doing, but your opponents know of you, know what you've been doing in the latest tournaments, and based on that, kind of curtail your builds, curtail your play styles to kind of assume hard counters or assume just soft counters in general. So I love that he's changing up the style altogether. It's very, very minor, but Gateway Expands something that I think a lot of people aren't used to seeing from Duckdeok.
And hold your horses, Andre, because Byul, guess what? He didn't go for a 15 pull this time. He went for a quicker pull than that. And he's getting aggressive early on.
Yes, he is. What was that, 10 pull?
I didn't actually see the exact timing it went off at, but I think it might have been a 10 pull. It definitely was not a 15 pull. It was before that.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think he's going to be able to get too much done, though. With this wall off and the Gateway Expand, this is exactly what Duckdeok needs to hold this off.
And we're going to find out. Can he place the pylon time? Yes, he will. Oh, well, okay. That was a little bit scary, but this pylon is going to go down here. He needs to be so careful. Zealot is going to come out in time, and now what can the Zerglings do? This is a good position. He's going to target down the one Zealot, but the Mothership Core pops out here. That's going to dissuade the Zerglings from pushing on any further into this. Additional 2 Zerglings will rally over here in the front, but nothing will come of that. Duckdeok holds off pretty seamlessly. It's kind of interesting. Wasn't really expecting Byul of all people to do that, but I mean, early aggression, you can't really fault him for that. He wants to just mix it up. And does that punish Forge Fast Expands? I mean, what does that really punish? What are you trying to do with these Zerglings?
Well, it punishes a Forge Fast Expander or Nexus first if it doesn't get scouted incredibly early on in the game. And it can do okay against the Gateway Expand if they don't scout with the Gateway Expand. You can usually get 1 or 2 probes. But in this case, Duckdeok with that wall off and with his probe seeing the links coming across the map had no trouble defending it.
Check this out. Okay, Zergling gets in here, but this is a very late Nexus. He might get up into the main base. Oh, he's going to see the gateways. It's a 3 gateway opening for Duckdeok right here, and there's that third, or that Nexus. Now, this might not seem too big, because, you know, it used to be 3-gate expand was the thing to do back in the day, but now 3-gate expand is just, it's kind of considered obsolete because of how ineffective how you can't put on a lot of aggression in the early stages, especially the queens being changed forever ago. That's what really shut it down, in my opinion. And I feel like now the surprise is no longer there, and Byul should be able to defend against any cheeky play.
Yeah, we'll have to see how much Duckdeok wants to commit to this. I feel like he's not going to commit very much to this aggression, though, especially since it's been scouted. And I think this is just serving to keep Byul on his toes.
Yeah, I mean, once it's scouted out, you can't really do. You can't realistically say, yes, I can do a lot of damage here.
Interesting. He's putting a Twilight Counter down at the front of his wall off. I'm not sure if I like this that much. I think it might just be another mind gamey thing. So when he scouts it, he's afraid of something, maybe another Blink Stalker timing coming his way, because he could have easily hit that in the main base and still been pretty safe with the 5 sentries he is out right now.
Well, he is zoning out that natural, making sure that he doesn't get scouted whatsoever. As it stands, Byul just playing this very passively, going up for double evolution Roachmore. Scout out into the main base will verify that it's only 2 gas in total for Byul. And Burrow is going down here. I love the choice of Burrow whenever you're going up against a gateway expand.
Yep, and I'm not exactly sure what Byul is going for at this point. He has double Evo, which usually indicates a Ling heavy style into Ultras when you see that in 2 bases. But obviously with the Burrow and the Roach Warren, he's not going for that style. He's going for the Roaches and the ranged attack upgrades. And he is only in a 2-base economy, however. So I don't know about this. If it gets scouted by a hallucinated sentry, I mean, I can't see him doing too much damage with the Roaches, especially in Echelon Waste.
Yeah, there's not a lot of timings that exist on 2 bases, especially against sentries of any sort. I mean, that's what it really comes down to. A lot of people, we look at how to beat Roaches, and it comes down to just good force fields, right? You have to have some damage-dealing unit, Immortals, Stalkers, whatever it might be, but the sentries normally just limit that count and limit the damage that they can do because they're such short-range units. And that's why I have to agree with you, Ghost User. It's really a position where it's so difficult to do damage with these Roaches, but I guess he's just playing super defensive because he fears Duckdeok. He fears what he's able to do.
And I think we see kind of the same style coming out of Duckdeok as we saw in the previous game. He's teching up to, I think, 6 gateways with Blink and then the Robo. Just going to make that Observer, and I think he might have studied Byul and realized that he likes to tech for that quick burrow. Because a lot of the time when you see Blink Stalker plays, you don't get the Robo this early for that Observer.
Well, it could just be, at the same token, well, it's just being defensive, being comprehensive with your attack. Because if you do face off against just a 100-100 upgrade, then you're kind of in a really unfortunate situation. Again, Burrow play, almost coming into the fray right there. But he's going to wait for additional units and maybe an Observer. Where's the Observer? Observer? No look. Oh, yes, there is.
It's on the way, but...
Oh, God. Oh. And we're going to look.
He's waiting for that Observer to push in.
Oh, goodness. And is he walking too far? There it is. The Roaches will pop up. Sentry force fields go down immediately. The Roaches are able to move up on the Sentry so fast, targeting down the high energy sentries. That's such a smart way to play this out, but Byul, does he have enough stuff here?
That was a costly engagement for him. He did snipe those sentries, but he lost about 6 or 7 Roaches for free, besides killing the 2 sentries.
But the Time Warps were used over here on the right-hand side. That gives Byul a lot of room to start just aggressing up. Glio Reconstitution, is it finished? Yes, it is. 1-1 is already finished for these Roaches. And Byul able to tear through. Blink has been used, so he can start killing a lot of these Stalkers. Another Time Warp goes down, going to back up all the Roaches. But again, these Time Warps want to be on creep, where he can properly gauge these Roaches and do damage and blink out in a better way. But these are all defensive Time Warps. It's a big problem, and I think Duckdeok has to stop attacking from here. He can't really say he can get a lot more damage done.
Yep, and with the Immortals in production, it looks like he knows that he probably won't be able to win with this. His only chance of doing any more damage with this is if Byul overextends off of creep, and he can then micro against it pretty well.
Yeah, and I don't think he's going to do that, although he does lose. No, he's not going to lose any Roaches here. Good job. He can just simply burrow, regenerate that health, and he's good to go. In the back, though, we do see the Hydra switch, and this is going to help so much against those Immortals. But still, you can see his third base isn't really saturated, so as much as he was able to defend this attack, I mean, it's not like he has a booming economy right behind us. 57 R versus the 45. Yes, it's ahead, but he just now got a lot of drones. He was just now hatching them.
Yeah, it'll be difficult for him to put any pressure onto Duckdeok soon. Duckdeok is still on 2 bases, and with this nice choke at the ramp, I think he'll be able to defend any counterattacks by Byul without too much of a problem.
Well, yeah, that Byul, I guess his killing blow is going to come in the form of a gigantic Roach Hydra army, or it's going to come in the form of Vipers, right? Like, he can't really attack in with just Roaches and a small amount of Hydras, because he will get picked off pretty easily to any form of chokes. And we can see a lot of sentries back here. So things are looking a little bit difficult still for Byul. He has to weather the next storm. But for now, just poke backs and forths. Still not taking the 5th and 6th gases. I'm very surprised about this, Ghost User. Does he need these?
Well, he doesn't actually need them yet. He's going to need them when he starts to do that transition up to the Hive tech. But until he does that, it's not too essential to have those gases up in mining. And he just wanted to stay super safe, not drone too much, and focus on increasing that army count so he doesn't die to that attack by Byul, or by Duckdeok.
Yeah. Well, Duckdeok is thrown down to 3rd base. I don't think he's really looking to... Well, yeah, he is looking to saturate that. I'm sorry, I looked at the wrong supplies. 182 to supply to 134, so it looks like Duckdeok is going to play pretty passive from here on out. That means the onus is on Byul to do some damage. This is going to be his timing. Once Hive finishes, he gets Vipers out. He will be able to utilize that Abduct plus the Blinding Cloud to, well, to dominate this composition. I mean, right now, they have pretty equal compositions, I would say. Still waiting on Colossus, Robobay underway, along with that 3rd base as we were talking about before, but now...
Until those Vipers are out, though, Byul can't do too much. This composition of Duckdeok is pretty good right now. With that Immortal popping out, that gets him 5 Immortals and a Blinkstalker Sentry composition. And even against a composition with a lot of Hydras in it, you can't do anything against that until you have the Viper tech or some other kind of tech.
Things are escalating over here on the hill to the top right-hand side, as both of them are fighting for that watchtower control, but it looks like the Zerg has to retreat, as the rest of the army. Yeah, I kind of feel like the Protoss cannot step on creep and engage, and at the same time, Zerg can't step off creep and engage, because it'll just go poorly for whoever steps on or off creep. And, well, that's why we have just this stagnation so far. They're both sharking around, trying to look for free pickoffs, but of course that's not going to happen. Still, as we can see, Duckdeok is growing closer and closer in supply to his opponent, and Duckdeok's looking to hit right before Vipers. I'm surprised he's playing so aggressively, especially with the Colossus on the way out, but no, he's just going to back up from here. Still, I'm worrying for Duckdeok a little bit here, because as soon as the Vipers pop out, the Colossus are instantly negated.
Well, to his credit, though, he's not going for a heavy Colossi composition. So I think, although obviously those 2 Colossi are just going to get abducted at the start of the battle and not do too much, he still might be okay with a heavy Blinkstalker army with some Sentries and Immortals. And there's only going to be a couple Vipers out, I think 2 to 3, so he's not going to be able to abduct all the Colossi and all the Immortals.
Yeah, but even like 3-4 Immortals and then the Colossus, that's going to help out so much. With 3 Vipers, he has 6 Abducts.
Yeah,
So
it'll come down a little bit to the micro. If Duckdeok can snipe one of those Vipers, then he only has 4 Abducts. And maybe if you kill the 2nd Viper before it gets both of the Abducts off, then suddenly you're in a pretty good situation.
All right, well, normally it just comes down to this engagement. 9 Spine Crawlers thrown down. It looks like Byul is just going for that overmax army. And I like this. Greater Spire is being chosen as the next transition.
This is a scary army for Duckdeok, though. I think it's going to be kind of tough for Byul to hold against this. This Roach Hydra army isn't as good now as it was before.
Well, the High Templars are out in the field to... Oh, nice feedback on the first Viper. Instantly blinks forward, tries to have this engagement. No,
only
will not
2
have
Vipers
that.
out now, and if he gets one more of these Vipers, I don't think there's any way he holds off his attack.
Well, the Spine Crawlers definitely help out. There's a lot more being thrown down. Corruptors on the way, preparing for that Broodlord composition switch. That really needs to take hold of this game. But can Byul hold off enough time? He's going to abduct the Mothership Core. Time Warp goes down. Double Time Warp. Can he get out in time?